This was a very tough time, and there to make the athletes' voice heard at this time was almost impossible. We had to realize that on the one hand the athletes were not really heard within the sports organizations, and on the other hand we had to realize that also the sports organizations, the National Olympic Committees or the IOC, had very limited political influence, to say it diplomatically. I could also say almost none. And there was a very heated debate among the athletes first. In the first meeting I presided as what we would consider now to be the chairman of the Athletes Commission. I had to offer my resignation if a majority would be in favor of a boycott. Then we finally came together and supported the majority of the athletes because we wanted to go to Moscow. And then in the public it was really hurting sometimes. You know, we thinking we are fighting for a good cause, and then I was insulted as a communist, as somebody who would be responsible for the fate of all the people in the Soviet bloc, and so on. So it was not easy, and even then the German Chancellor in a meeting then at the time initiated the meeting with a high-ranking military to show the map where you had tanks, pipelines and everything, and building up a scenario where he's then said in the end something like and if you want to risk there a third world war, then you better go to Moscow. And he also said no Western athlete and no Western statesman will put his foot on the soil of Moscow for a long time. And 2 months later, the first ones were already there. So it was really a tough experience. I was terribly disappointed that the voice of the athletes had not been heard, that I could even make my speech in the final General Assembly of the National Olympic Committee, that nobody did really listen anymore, that they were bowing to the political pressure coming from all sides, and that they were not ready to stand up for the interests of sport. And on the other hand, then the reaction was, it's hurting so much, and what can you do? That such a boycott would never happen to future generations of athletes. And there at this time, then I got the offer from the then president of the German National Olympic Committee, Willi Daume, whether I would be ready to join the NOC as an individual member. And he also changed the statutes of the National Olympic Committee, so that as a representative of the athletes, I was then a member of the executive board. And this was the motivation why I said yes to him right away. This should never happen again to future generations of athletes. And this is what still drives me today, to give all the clean athletes of the world the chance to participate in Olympic Games. I don't have much memory. I even do not know whether at the time the games were broadcast in German TV. I have some images of the games, but I could not say that I was really following them closely. The boycott of Moscow has achieved nothing at all. And this has been admitted there also by all the major actors, at least in Germany, there at the time, who already a couple of months later in conversations told me we made a mistake, this was not the right thing to do. And even the then Chancellor, who was really pressing us at the time in favor of the boycott, it took for him until 2008, but then also he finally admitted that it was a mistake. And you can see the facts. The Soviet army, which was the reason for the boycott, remained in Afghanistan for 9 more years. And the athletes then were hit in many countries, not only by the boycott of 1980, but also by the boycott of 1984, which was the revenge boycott. So you had in fact 2 generations of athletes losing their Olympic dream, having prepared for years for nothing, and being sanctioned and punished for something they have nothing to do with, and what they would never have supported. So there, anybody who is thinking about a boycott should learn this lesson from history. A sports boycott serves nothing. It's only hurting the athletes, and it's hurting the population of the country, because they are losing the joy to share the pride, the success with their Olympic team. So what is a boycott for? It's against all the Olympic spirit. It's against all the values we have in sport and what we are standing for in sport. The role of the Olympic Games is to unify the entire world in a peaceful competition without any discrimination, be it racial, be it social, be it cultural, be it political. And this is what we achieve. We have the athletes from all 206 national Olympic committees and of the IOC refugee Olympic team united in this competition, living together in one Olympic village without any kind of discrimination, exchanging opinions, discussing, and in this way creating an atmosphere of friendship and of understanding, of respect and solidarity. And this is what we call the Olympic spirit.